of a nation in terms of economic policies, independence of nation in the movement of people, the movement of resources, the movement of technology, or government ability to take decisions has definitely got diluted because of global pressures. Because of pressure of not only from member nations, not only from USA or great powers, but also from MNCs. Today, most of the MNCs in the world, they determine what should India's policy on internet. Yes or no? For example, the Starlink, by whom? Tesla. We're talking about internet, net neutrality, Facebook. Yes or no? So that means MNCs are also impacting to a greater extent India's ability to take decisions. So this is one side of how globalization is impacting nation state. In a negative sense, I told. On a positive sense, I can say India has got greater control over its economy because of globalization, I've become a global power. As my economy is opened up, I've benefited more from globalization. My economy is going to almost 120 countries. Now I'm one of the important major player in the world. So because of this economic powerhouse, huge market in India, what will happen? Obviously, government's ability to control these decisions will increase. Now India's say will be global say in some issues like terrorism, climate change. Why? Because India's economy has understood. So the other side is, as globalization has benefited India to a greater extent, our ability to take decisions and influence decisions on the global table have definitely increased. This way, India as a nation state has strengthened or weakened? Strengthened. So understand that. Always we should end in a positive sense. India as a nation state, the ability of India as a nation state has strengthened because India has benefited significantly, enormously from globalization. This is a line you have to take. Don't say that India as a nation state has weakened. This is one question which can be given in essay or paper one.
As India is a nation state, it has no scope in expanding its soft power, meaning that
Yes. We have lots of potential for our soft power. Lots of cultures, lots of cuisines, lots of dances, festivals. Foreigners are coming only to witness this. So tourism is one thing, or cultural power we can use to influence our decisions, our relations with Japan. For example, South Korea. Buddhism is one thing which connects India and the East Asian countries. As you know, Act East Asia, I can say, look East now become Act East because Buddhism is one such parameter. So India's outward perspective is becoming outward, global. It was global earlier also, but after 1945, is inward looking because we were very weak economy after independence. That's why we have gone for inward looking policies, protectionist measures. Since 1990s, we thought this is not going to work. This is leading to more corruption, imports and all. So we should go for outward, use LPG reforms. So we write a number of points. Have you heard this concept of Walmartization? Walmartization, or you can say McDonaldization. Nothing but idea of global supply chains. For example, Walmartization means now people want to go to Walmart. In India, we don't have much Walmarts, but McDonald's we have. So globalization is often called as McDonaldization because everyone prefers to have a pizza in or a burger in McDonald's. So McDonaldization is one such word which you often encounter when you're talking about globalization. Walmartization or McDonaldization is or Americanization. That is also yes. Is globalization leading to conflict of values?
Family values.
Very good one. Family values. Cultures are coming into conflict sometimes. Yes, very good.
Marriages are getting affected.
That's what family system, marriage, economic values versus social values. You yourself has a doubt whether globalization is an economic phenomenon or a social phenomenon, but I say it's a both. But economy is taking upper hand. Why? Because globalization is driven by what?
Capitalism.
Capitalism. So capitalism versus again socialism. Socialism. So there are conflict of values. Capitalism versus socialism, marriage systems. Maybe two religions may come into conflict like Westernization versus Islamic fundamentalism. Definitely, globalization is community versus individual. So you can say definitely globalization is leading to conflict of values, but our conclusion should be any process, any globalization process definitely expose different values to all other values. If I'm globalized, I'll definitely get exposed to different cultures, different values. Definitely they come into conflict. But over a time period, if this globalization is dealt democratically, if this globalization is taken in a democratic manner, these conflicts will decrease and values will stabilize at some point of time. There may be a conflict between equality versus liberalism. Liberty. I as an individual claim liberty, but if I claim too much liberty, it may impact your liberty. That means equality will reduce. There should be some balance. So we can say if globalization can be dealt in a proper manner, if global institutions which are managing this globalization are more democratic and give space for developing countries like India, definitely this conflict of values will decrease. Similarly, you can say education system should be more tuned to this globalization. Now you can see people are exposed to different set of universities. Yes or no? Harvard, Stanford, or you can say different universities. People are going to different universities. Western education, or you can say education system has become more accessible to Indians. Now this education system should teach that globalization is a phenomena which should be taken in a human manner. So there should be awareness, but there is lots of confusion in the youth. Whether I should follow if I'm speaking here, I'll be speaking as maybe teacher or faculty, as an IAS officer. But if I go to my village, can I speak the same language?
No.
We should get that balance. But people are lost in this. They feel that I should follow the same culture, even in my village also. Will that happen? Will that work? That's what. There should not be any cultural confusion among the youth. The cultural confusion is happening. Right now we are in a stage of confusion. Especially because of globalization, no one is teaching what values I should follow. Everyone thinks that if I follow these values, I will be treated as modern. But that's not the right approach. So there should be proper awareness among individuals. If I say you don't have WhatsApp, what other people will think? This person is conservative or not socialized, something like that. So don't get affected by this kind of tendencies. If you are an individual, you have some limitations, you have some personality, keep that personality intact. Don't get influenced too much by the external world. So that's what. We should not be confused. We should be clear about your priorities. That's what happening because of lack of confusion only. There are lots of suicide rates happening in the youth. Why? Because they are exposed to this material culture. Yes or no? And this material culture is making them confused, depressed. Drug culture, for example, in Punjab. Yes or no? Is because of excessive materialism. I have money, I have drugs, so leading to depressions, hypertensions, and all. So suicide rate is one of the major factors which is contributed by globalization. It's not because of globalization, it's the way we take the globalization. The way we take globalization should be more proper. It is correct at the level of individual, as a society, as a nation, at the international level also. Globalization should be dealt properly. So never blame globalization as a process. Dealt the way globalization is dealt should be blamed. So whenever you are giving answers or solutions for a question on globalization, you tell that globalization should be dealt in a more human manner, in a more ethical manner, in a more democratic manner. Then globalization will actually become more beneficial to everyone. That's not the case in today's world because people are not having awareness. So this is one question which can be given. You know what is consumerism? How many of you changed your mobile phone twice in this last 2021? Twice. Only one? How many of you just bought shirts just like that? Even though there is no use, you still buy it, right? Yes or no? You still buy something which is not required to you at that point of time, but still you buy because that's what is called as consumerism. So consumerism, again, one phenomena which can be given. One question, I will give you the answer for this, not answer as such, I will give you the soft copy or something like that. This question is very, very important. What is the impact of globalization on local identities? or you can say, what is the impact of globalization on local identity? The other form of putting this question is globalization diluting the local identities? Very, very important question. I bet you this will be in question paper next 2-3 years, Pakka. Maybe next 2-3 years this question will be given, because this is a kind of thought process UPSC is going through, or the entire country or the entire world is going through, whether globalization is diluting the local identity. Is globalization diluting the local identity? Or what is the impact of globalization on local identities? You know what is local identity? Culture. Caste, religion, dressing, food, festivals, everything is local identity. It is actually leading to my perspective, I say it is leading to hybrid identity. That is what my conclusion is. You read about it. I will give you some short form of notes also for this. It is in fact different. There are 3-4 points which says that it is actually leading to hybrid identity, or it is leading to cultural confusion also. Yes, sir. Is globalization leading to delocalization? The same question, right? Is globalization leading to delocalization? Yes or no? Yes, simultaneously? No also. It is strengthening local identities. Because I am confused. What is my identity? Because I am more engaged in academic activities, all these things. I want some identity. What is my identity? If someone says religion is your identity, yes, I say religion is your identity. If someone says no, caste is your identity, be Kamma, Reddy should be one. People say yes, I am Reddy. That means people are playing with identities because you are culturally confused. So if you are confused, people will take advantage. That's why identity politics coming into picture. Identity politics are becoming more strong nowadays. Not only India but everywhere. America, Brazil, Australia, even European countries. Identity politics are becoming on the basis of race, ethnicity, or caste, or religion. Because I am culturally confused, I am losing my identity. As I lose my identity, someone will come and say that this is your identity. Then obviously we will accept it and vote for that person. That's what identity politics is becoming the norm. It's not actually leading to delocalization. It's actually strengthening the identities sometimes, and sometimes it is diluting the identities. For example, in urban areas, I say caste system is diluted. Yes or no? You don't know what is the caste of your neighbor. You know what is the caste of your next person? No, that's what the way of life in urban areas. But in rural areas, still we have these identities are becoming very strong. Next, we also go through anti-globalization movements happening in the world. Anti-globalization movements happening in the world.